I am Ra. I greet you in the love and the light of the infinite Creator. I communicate now. Question 20.1. Questioner, to go back a bit, what happened to the second density entities who were unharvestable when the third density began? I assume that there were some that did not make it into third density. Answer, I am Ra. The second density is able to repeat during third density a portion of its cycle. Question 20.2. Questioner, then the second density entities who did not get harvested at the beginning of this 75,000-year period, some are still on this planet. Were any of these second density entities harvested into the third density within the past 75,000 years? Answer, I am Ra. This has been increasingly true. Question 20.3. Questioner, so more and more second density entities are making it into third density. Can you give me an example of a second density entity coming into the third density in the recent past? Answer, I am Ra. Perhaps the most common occurrence of second density graduation during third density cycle is the so-called pet. For the animal which is exposed to the individualizing influences of the bond between animal and third density entity, this individuation causes a sharp rise in the potential of the second density entity, so that upon the cessation of physical complex the mind-body complex does not return into the undifferentiated consciousness of that species, if you will. Question 20.4. Questioner, then can you give me an example of an entity in third density that was just previously a second density entity? What type of entity do they become here? Answer, I am Ra. As a second density entity returns as third density for the beginning of this process of learning, the entity is equipped with the lowest, if you will so call these vibrational distortions, forms of third density consciousness, that is, equipped with self-consciousness. Question 20.5. Questioner, this would be a human in our form then who would be beginning the understandings of third density. Is this correct? Answer, I am Ra. This is correct. Question 20.6. Questioner, speaking of the rapid change that occurred in the physical vehicle from second to third density, this occurred, you said, in approximately a generation and a half. Body hair was lost and there were structural changes. I am aware of the physics of Dewey, Larsa, who states that all is motion or vibration. Am I correct in assuming that the basic vibration that makes up the physical world changes, thus creating a different set of parameters, shall I say, in this short period of time between density changes, allowing for the new type of being? Am I correct? Answer, I am Ra. This is correct. Question 20.7. Questioner, is the physics of Dewey correct? Answer, I am Ra. The physics of sound vibrational complex, Dewey, is a correct system as far as it is able to go. There are those things which are not included in this system. However, those coming after this particular entity, using the basic concepts of vibration and the study of vibrational distortions, will begin to understand that which you know as gravity and those things you consider as n dimensions. These things are necessary to be included in a more universal, shall we say, physical theory. Question 20.8. Questioner, did this entity, Dewey, then bring this material through for use primarily in the fourth density? Answer, I am Ra. This is correct. Question 20.9. Questioner, yesterday we were talking about the split that occurs when an entity either consciously or unconsciously chooses the path that leads to either service to others or service to self. The philosophical question of why such a split even exists came up. It was my impression that just as it is in electricity, if we have no polarity in electricity we have no electricity, we have no action. Therefore, I am assuming that it is the same in consciousness. If we have no polarity in consciousness we also have no action or experience. Is this correct? Answer, I am Ra. This is correct. You may use the general term, work. Question 20.10. Questioner, then the concept of service to self and service to others is mandatory if we wish to have work, whether it be work in consciousness or work of a mechanical nature in the Newtonian concept in the physical. Is this correct? Answer, I am Ra. This is correct with one addendum. The coil, as you may understand this term, is wound, is potential, is ready. The thing that is missing without polarizing is the charge. Question 20.11. Questioner, then the charge is provided by individualized consciousness. Is this correct? Answer, I am Ra. The charge is provided by the individualized entity using the inpourings and instreamings of energy by the choices of free will. Question 20.12. Questioner, thank you. As soon as the third density started 75,000 years ago and we have incarnate third density entities, what was the average human lifespan at that time? Answer, I am Ra. At the beginning of this particular portion of your space-time continuum, the average lifespan was approximately 900 of your years. Question 20.13. Questioner, did the average lifespan grow longer or shorter as we progressed into third density experience? Answer, I am Ra. There is a particular use for the span of life in this density, and given the harmonious development of the learning teachings of this density, the lifespan of the physical complex would remain the same throughout the cycle. However, your particular planetary sphere developed vibrations by the second major cycle which shortened the lifespan dramatically. Question 20.14. Questioner, assuming a major cycle is 25,000 years, at the end of the first major cycle, what was the lifespan? Answer, I am Ra. The lifespan at the end of the first cycle, which you call major, was approximately 700 of your years. Question 20.15. Questioner, then in 25,000 years we lost 200 years of lifespan. Is this correct? Answer, I am Ra. This is correct. Question 20.16. Questioner, can you tell me the reason for this shortening of lifespan? Answer, I am Ra. The causes of this shortening are always an euphonious or inharmonious relational vibration between other selves. In the first cycle this was not severe due to the dispersion of peoples, but there was the growing feeling complex distortion towards separateness from other selves. Question 20.17. Questioner, I am assuming that at the start of one of these cycles there could have been either a positive polarization that would generally occur over the 25,000 years or a negative polarization. Is the reason for the negative polarization and the shortening of the lifespan the influx of entities from Mars who had already polarized somewhat negatively? Answer, I am Ra. This is incorrect. There was not a strong negative polarization due to this influx. The lessening of the lifespan was due primarily to the lack of the building of positive orientation. When there is no progress, those conditions which grant progress are gradually lost. This is one of the difficulties of remaining unpolarized. The chances, shall we say, of progress become steadily less. Question 20.18. Questioner, the way I understand it, at the beginning of this 75,000-year cycle, then, we had a mixture of entities, those who had graduated from second density on Earth to become third density, and then a group of entities transferred from the planet Mars to continue third density here. Is this correct? Answer, I am Ra. This is correct. You must remember that those transferred to this sphere were in the middle of their third density, so that this third density was an adaptation rather than a beginning. Question 20.19. Questioner, what percentage of the entities who were here in third density at that time were Martian, and what percentage were harvested from Earth's second density? Answer, I am Ra. There were perhaps 1/2 of the third density population being entities from the red planet, Mars, as you call it. Perhaps 1/4 from second density of your planetary sphere. Approximately 1/4 from other sources, other planetary spheres whose entities chose this planetary sphere for third density work. Question 20.20. Questioner, when they incarnated here, did all three of these types mix together in societies or groups, or were they separated by groups and society? Answer, I am Ra. They remained largely unmixed. Question 20.21. Questioner, then did this unmixing lend to a possibility of warlike energy between groups? Answer, I am Ra. This is correct. Question 20.22. Questioner, did this help to reduce the lifespan? Answer, I am Ra. This did reduce the lifespan, as you call it. Question 20.23. Questioner, can you tell me why 900 years is the optimum lifespan? Answer, I am Ra. The mind-body-spirit complex of third density has perhaps 100 times as intensive a program of catalytic action from which to distill distortions and learn teachings than any other of the densities. Thus the learned teachings are most confusing to the mind-body-spirit complex, which is, shall we say, inundated by the ocean of experience. During the first, shall we say, perhaps 150 to 200 of your years as you measure time, a mind-body-spirit complex is going through the process of a spiritual childhood. The mind and the body are not enough in a disciplined configuration to lend clarity to the spiritual influxes. Thus, the remaining time span is given to optimize the understandings which result from experience itself.